They called her the People's Princess, a woman adored by millions across the globe. But behind the glamour, the charity work, and the radiant smile, Princess Diana's final days were anything but a fairy tale. What really happened during those last 48 hours of her life? The truth, the quiet moments, the hidden fears, and the haunting decisions paints a picture far more heartbreaking than the headlines ever revealed. In the summer of 1997, Diana was trying to reclaim her life. She had divorced Prince Charles, broken away from the rigid confines of royal protocol, and was finally beginning to live on her own terms. She spent her final weeks in the south of France, photographed aboard luxury yachts with Dodi Al-Fayed, laughing, smiling, seemingly carefree. To the public, she looked happy, even liberated. But those closest to her later said the reality was far more complicated. Sources close to Diana revealed that in those last days, she was deeply anxious. The relentless press, which had hounded her for years, had only intensified its pursuit. Paparazzi followed her everywhere, snapping photos at every angle, sometimes even invading private spaces. In quiet moments, Diana confided in friends that she felt trapped, even as she planned for the future, considering ways to protect her sons, William and Harry, from the same suffocating spotlight. On the day before her death, Diana spent time in Paris. Witnesses remember her as warm and gracious, smiling to fans who approached her, though she seemed distracted, her gaze often drifting away mid-conversation. That night, she had dinner with Dodi at the Ritz Hotel. Staff described her as calm, polite, and even playful with the waiters. But according to hotel insiders, there was tension in the air, a sense that the media circus surrounding her was spiraling out of control. The hours leading up to the fatal crash have been documented countless times, but what no one talks about are the private details, the ones that make her story all the more tragic. Diana reportedly spoke to her sons that evening, telling them she loved them and that she would see them soon. Friends say those calls, filled with warmth and motherly tenderness, now feel almost prophetic. Then came the chaos. As Diana and Dodi tried to escape the flashing cameras, their car sped through the Paris streets. Moments later, the world stopped. News broke that there had been a horrific crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. First, reports suggested she had survived. Then came the crushing reality. Diana, Princess of Wales, was gone at just 36 years old. What's often left out of the headlines is how eerily quiet those final moments were. Witnesses at the scene say that amid the flashing lights and the chaos, there was a haunting stillness around Diana, as if the world itself had paused to witness history. Paramedics worked tirelessly, but it was too late. In the days that followed, the world grieved together. Flowers carpeted the gates of Kensington Palace. Strangers cried openly in the streets. And as the nation mourned, questions began to surface about the paparazzi's role, the lack of adequate security, and even conspiracy theories that still spark debates today. But beyond the controversy and the speculation, what remains is the story of a woman who wanted nothing more than to live freely, to love, and to raise her boys away from the chaos of public life. Her last days, though overshadowed by tragedy, were also marked by moments of quiet strength, compassion, and hope, a reminder of the woman behind the crown, the global icon who never stopped being human. Even decades later, the world still wonders, if the events of that night had played out differently, what kind of life might Diana have lived? It's a haunting question, one that ensures the People's Princess will never truly be forgotten.